There are times when a woman chooses to follow the pattern of what all women of old used to do. They depend upon the men in their lives to provide for them, whether fathers, husbands, brothers, or uncles. This was the traditional way for women. It was not designed necessarily to limit her or produce a victim mindset. It was just the way things were done, the stronger caring for the weaker. It was a man's privilege to care for his family. In my particular race culture, this lifestyle is not very common. There are far too many single mothers, broken homes, and unwed couples cohabitating without any inclination to living the traditional marriage system of husband provider and wife homemaker. Even if a couple is lawfully wedded, the chance of her choosing to be home full-time and rely on her husband's provision has a very low occurrence. Not that he is unable to provide, but that she isn't willing to choose to live on only one income. The rates of the boss chick independent woman mentality is astronomically high in my culture. These women, maybe due to socioeconomic situations, cultural differences, and other statistics, tend to shy away from the traditional marriage model. But marriage is beautiful. In my own relationship, I found 4 ways my husband provides specifically for me. The first is he works a small job. His desire to work a simpler job was in order to be around for our daughter's growing up years. His job is not stressful. The hours are super reasonable. He had a goal in mind. He wanted to be present in his family. He was not willing to take jobs that took him away from his family for long periods of time. In our early years of marriage, he was a firefighter, which meant he spent every third 24-hour period away from home. That put a tremendous strain on our relationship because we both loved being with each other. After that, he eventually went back to a familiar job that offered him the flexibility he sought, and after a few years, his income more than doubled without increasing his workload or weekly hours. We are so thankful to the Lord for his provision. My husband also built our family home himself. When I was growing up, I loved reading the Little House on the Prairie series. I was always impressed that Charles would build the family home wherever they relocated to. It was just understood that if his family would have a home, he would be the one to chop the wood, mill it, and turn it into the home. That always fascinated me. So my husband did the same thing. He personally selected every single board, screwed every single screw, set every single wall in our home, and I absolutely love this. Knowing he joined in the men of old who literally built the homes for their families gives us both such enjoyment. His provision and labor made this dream a reality, and I am thankful for his intelligence, his strength, and his integrity. He assumes the driving for our family. After looking at the numbers and the reality that we usually went everywhere together as a family, he decided to downgrade us to a one-car lifestyle. This was great for me since I no longer had to worry about my previous older car giving out on me. Because of his planning, we now have a brand new, reliable car simply because we only have one. I had to trust his plans. This was beneficial for me too, since I was constantly being pulled out of my home by other people's requests or just going shopping, spending our resources simply because I was bored. Not having access to a car enabled me to have large, concentrated times of fruitful homemaking and homeschooling our daughter. An added bonus is that he goes to the grocery store with me all the time. He pushes the cart, he loads the car, and unloads the groceries at home. I felt like I hit the jackpot, and he feels needed, so we both win. Also, I feel super safe knowing no one will mess with me because he is right beside me. I feel so sheltered and taken care of, and I love it. And he takes care of my well-being. The Bible talks about no man ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it. My husband applies the same care to me that he takes with himself. If he eats vegetables because he feels they make him healthier, he wants me to do the same with him. If he takes care to have proper fitting shoes and well-groomed toenails, he does the same for me. He actually trims my toenails for me because he says he wants it done right. Offensive much, man? Just kidding. I like the care he takes of me. When he gets home from work, he expects me to be off work too, meaning if he rests, he wants to see me resting too. If I keep working, he feels like maybe less than a man, so he gets back to work too. So I bless him by resting with him. If we are working in the garden, he always stays back another half hour or so to make sure he feels like he's done much more work than myself. He refuses to let me overwork myself. Foolish me used to accuse him of being controlling. Reformed me thanks him for his kindness and his care. What about you? Have you noticed some special ways your husband provides for you? Share them below. We'd love to celebrate your man with you. Thanks again for joining me. As always, I will see you guys next time here at the homestead. Bye.